When we start talking about styles of gin, it's really easy to start thinking that we mean the different flavoured gins or the different makes of gin. These are not types of gin. These are just different manufacturers and different flavoured gins. There are actually just 4 types of actual gin, and we've been working our way through them. We have the Dry London gin. We have the Juniper gin, we have the Plymouth gin and the Old Tom gin, and we're going to be talking about Old Tom today. Old Tom is a wonderful, wonderful gin, and at one time Old Tom was simply the street name for gin. Now, gin, as you know, got a very bad rap because so many people were making their own gin, and quite frankly most of it was absolutely terrible. And it was this bathtub gin that was sweetened with things like licorice or other sweetening aids, and it was just sweetened to round off those really rough edges of bathtub gin. And Old Tom was originally a sweetened style of gin, and it was produced around the middle of the 18th century. As I said, Old Tom was a street name for gin, and there were many wonderful street names of gin, of which I think we could do a whole episode on alone. Now, things have taken a real turn now. Old Tom is no longer some sort of rough gin that's sweetened up with a bit of licorice. Old Tom is now a very, very good gin. The botanicals are usually distilled, and the sweetness in that gin normally comes from the larger amount of licorice that's added in the distillation. They don't generally add flavouring after. Now, it doesn't taste like licorice, in case you're wondering. It's got a wonderful, wonderful balance of ingredients and botanicals, and it's richer in flavour than a London dry gin, and it works really, really well in cocktails and sort of mixed drinks. Anything that you require a slightly bitter edge to would be absolutely the gin for you to be choosing. It actually works so well in anything like a martinis, but I mean it can also work really well in something like a martini. So I think it is just an absolutely wonderful to try. The only thing that I'm sad about with Old Tom is that all the adverts with the cats in them have now gone. But apart from that, a wonderful gin to try, and certainly one that you'd get yourself familiar with, because I think it's just got an awful lot of history to it, but also that licorice in there really makes a real difference in style and can give a real twist in a cocktail.